So one thing you might think about doing with your girls if there's a wedding coming up is going to a high tea. Yes, we're going to talk about tea right now with Sonya Singh. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here in this great setup. So you've got your own company. It's called Wild Tea.
That's right.
And it's all about teas. And the reason why you started it, you told me, is because people are a little confused about tea.
They are. And, you know, people don't know how to steep tea properly, what kind of tea they're drinking, whether you should add milk or cream or lemon. And sometimes you shouldn't.
Right. Sometimes you should add nothing.
You should add nothing, and you should just have it the way it is.
Now, we're also confused about high tea versus afternoon tea.
There is a huge difference. So we'll start with afternoon tea, because afternoon tea is actually the more poshy one. It's the one that you want to bring your manners to.
Okay.
So I think of afternoon tea with lower tables, lower chairs, and light food. So on your menu, you should really be focusing on the tea and the ambiance, as well as the environment, as opposed to the food.
Got it.
So the food is going to consist of a lighter menu. So you've got your lighter sandwiches.
Yep.
I would use lighter fillings such as cucumbers, lettuce, and spinach, really making sure you've got your greens in there.
Yep.
Lighter macaroons, lighter biscuits, lighter shortbreads, and you want to make sure the menu is going to be on the light side because your tea is going to be heavier.
Oh, I see.
So the teas that I would pair would be darker teas, black teas.
Yeah.
And because this process is lingering, you're at this party for 2 to 3 hours, you want to chit chat, you want to catch up with your girlfriends, you're in your best wear. So you want to have tea that either gives you chamomile, so you'll go to sleep a little bit later after you've been sitting with your friends for 2 to 3 hours, or a nice green tea that pairs well with the vegetables that you've brought to your sandwiches.
But a deeper tea. It's a deeper tea, because that's where you're going to, a darker tea. So you've got the really pretty gloves.
I do.
And maybe you have a little hat on.
Yes, because you're bringing your best manners to afternoon tea. You're doing the opposite for high tea, actually.
Okay, so what's happening at high tea? Are we having beer?
Well, maybe with the tea, that's a great idea, actually. But what you want to do is you're bringing your appetite to high tea.
Yeah.
So you can even see the difference in the food.
There's loaves of bread. I want to go to high tea.
Exactly.
Like, this is my spot
This
here.
is what you want to do. If you're not a big tea fan, you still want to come for the tea, but the tea is going to be lighter. The emphasis here is really on the food. So think of meat, you've got your steaks, your fish, you've got your eggs, you've got your loaves of bread, and the dessert is really heavy as well.
Okay.
And if you're not bringing dessert to the menu, you can actually create dessert with the tea. So what I like to do is bring a nice chai masala, add a little bit of cream and sugar, and it creates that white latte effect in your mouth. So you don't even need to have dessert on your menu.
I love that. Or do both.
Exactly.
Perhaps.
Bigger menu, exactly.
That is really nice, the sweetness of that. So at this tea, it's a little bit less posh, so a little bit less refined.
A little bit less refined. This is actually the tea that the middle class would go to. You know, this is the supper.
Yeah.
And the afternoon tea is where you've got your etiquette. And again, you're lingering. So think of the parlor room. You're taking your tea outside to the garden.
Yeah.
And you want to have teas that are either jasmine, rose to give you that garden effect.
Yes.
But you've got to bring your etiquette here. So I always say handles to the right when you're going to tea.
So all of your your teacup's got to be facing this way.
That's
this
right,
the right way.
including your teapot as well.
Oh, okay.
No elbows on the table, which is, we all know is common sense.
Yep.
And when you're going to actually pour any type of milk into your tea, you want to stir it so that it's from top to bottom instead of just rotating the spoon around like that, which people do all the time. And then you take the spoon.
Yes, you're all wrong. Yes.
You've been wrong for years.
So am I. We're all wrong. Okay, so you've got to do one of these situations.
Exactly.
Can I do it more than once? Is there a rule here?
No, you can do it more than once.
When I'm done with my spoon, what am I doing with it?
It goes behind the teacup.
And does it stay there for the rest of the tea setting, the serving? Yes?
Absolutely. And there's actually a way to hold your teacup as well. So show me how you would hold the teacup.
I would hold, well, I can't even fit my finger in there.
Okay, so
like
well,
this.
This is back in the day. The cups were smaller,
Everyone was tiny back in the day.
Exactly.
So is this okay?
That's okay. Now, what I would do is, if you could actually fit your finger in there, you would take your index finger and your thumb, and you would loop it around like this.
Okay.
And take the second finger, and it's like this.
Okay.
And there you
go. No pinkies up, you'll notice.
No pinkies up, unless what I always say is, if your host has the pinky up, then you put the pinky up.
Okay.
And if your host is slurping, you slurp away too.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious. And you want to follow the lead of the host.
Okay.
So, if your host may not bring all the best manners to the table, then that's what you end up doing.
Oh, that's good. I want a host like that. That's cool.
But you really want to make sure that this is the party party that all the etiquette is coming to.
Right.
So there's other little things to remember as well, which
Tell
is you
us.
go to pour your tea, make sure that the loose leaf or the tea bag is actually in the teapot first, and then you add the water, and then you add the milk after.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's the order it goes in. Is that in
Exactly.
order to get the best flavor from the tea?
Absolutely. The best flavor, the best smell. Finger foods, never use your fingers. You always want to use a fork and a knife.
So, so that there's not even a little tall thing.
No, because you know why? You're wearing your gloves, right? So you don't want to mess up your gloves.
All right.
You are bringing the best you with the best manners to this tea party.
Right.
And that means you're coming as a character. So I always say, wear your fascinator, wear your gloves, wear your best dress. And again, it's less about what is on the table in terms of the food, but what you're bringing with the tea, the stories. And that's why the teacups are also mismatched. So a very popular tea party that's going around right now is to bring your favorite cup, your grandmother's cup.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And share your story.
Yeah, I think that's great. Marilyn Smith would very much appreciate that. Really good. I hope that my hostess is doing stuff like this. So I can just chill, you know what I'm saying?